Hello everybody, Darcy Marler here. Today we're going to do another Students Taking Action video, and I'd like to introduce you to Vlad Maevskiy. Now Vlad has a story probably typical to a lot of you. He was doing a lot in the renovation world, kind of the flip and burr model. But he took the course, my real estate development course, because he wanted to put more tools in his toolbox. He wanted to give himself more options and learn how to increase the value of land. So he's actually found a school, kind of an abandoned school that he's going to turn into an apartment building. But Darcy, you say, that's not development, that's still burr. Well, the thing about this school site is it's got a lot of excess land, and he's now learned how to sever that land, and now he's going to build more units off on the excess piece. That's certainly one of the strategies that I teach, how to sever excess land and what to do with it. So if you've been motivated by these Students Taking Action video and you want to get into real estate development and learn how to do some of this stuff, some of the things that these students are actually doing and succeeding at, I urge you to watch a webinar that'll tell you all about real estate development and about my course and how you can profit from it, how it can literally change your life. The registration links are in the comment section below. I urge you to take a couple minutes out of your day to watch that video. So now, without further ado, here's Vlad. Hello, our special guest today is Vlad Maevskiy. Vlad, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
How's everything in your world these days?
Busy as usual.
Busy as usual.
As we're trying to tackle projects in many different phases.
Well, let's get into that. Well, first of all, maybe introduce yourself a bit, who you are, where you're from, and maybe a little bit of the type of real estate you were doing before you got into development.
My name is Vlad Maevskiy. I'm a real estate investor, full-time real estate investor, entrepreneur. We started way back in 2002, but more actively being involved in various projects for the last about 8 years, and looking for the opportunity where I could add new value to the property, highest and best use. I've been able to create several triplexes, duplexes, and did a few severances. And now I'm looking into a multifamily conversion from the school, which is I find a very, very cool project.
We'll get back to that. I like your school project. That's a pretty cool one. So we'll get back to that in a sec. But so it sounds like you had a fair bit of experience in this. So what were you feeling when you joined the course? What did you kind of think you were missing? What did you think the course was going to help you with?
Well, I found attractive that the land aspect, land development, and finding that extra value is something that's very, very attractive, to be honest, because a lot of times we have to do like huge amount of work trying to renovate the place, trying to run all the trades, trying to do all this scheduling and trades and everything. But with the land, it's just a piece of land that you can manipulate. You can do something with it. You can find more efficient use, and you can find definitely extra profit in this and extra value. And always when you create something new out of, well, not nothing, but it's been unused, it's kind of unlocking its potential. It's very attractive. I like that.
So you were doing a lot of renovations before too, kind of existing houses or buildings you were renovating them. That's what you're referring to when you were talking.
Yeah, that's been, I've done a lot of them. I just counted, I probably completed about 50 renovations throughout my career, which wasn't as long, but at the same time, it's still, I see that it's a lot of renovation work.
You just got tired. You got bored.
The only thing, again, the scale, the scope, the type of value I'm looking for changes, of course. 'Cause before, let's say 5-6 years ago, I enjoyed, my go-to strategy was simply finding a property where I can add a second suite and build a duplex. Then we built a triplex for the first time, which was wow and cool, and the cash flow was way, way better than duplex. And next thing we found a new strategy with building and adding coach houses, which also quite amazing. We built 2, and the cash flow also fantastic. Now, the further we go, the further it's becoming harder and harder with 2 to 3 units. We have to look for opportunities with multifamily. That's why I like looking into like 10 units multifamily as could be a start. And if we're finding some land opportunities where we can change zoning and then have that piece of land zoned for the multifamily. I would love that kind of projects going forward. I'm bored maybe of the projects where the result is a little bit like a small duplex, right? But I'd rather just apply to much larger scale project. That's all.
Let's get back to this new school project you've got. So it's a larger scale. So tell us a little bit about that, what it is, maybe define what it is, and then we'll get into some more detail on it.
Yeah, I got approached by someone I knew from who we dealt with before, and I was brought this deal, which is off market. I jumped on it right away because I saw that, okay, I heard about conversions from commercial to residentials, from office space to residentials, from churches to residential. Now, this was an opportunity from a school which was declared a surplus to convert it to residential. So I definitely was interested. And I was told, okay, 9 units, perfect, amazing. After a while, after looking deeper into that, I see even more potential in that. Some land there underutilized, and I'm looking right now to bring it from 9 to 12 units. There's also, I see that there's a potential of the land severance where I could possibly build maybe another 3 or 4 units as a separate like triplex, fourplex. So I see a lot of value potential in this. And again, I'm all about value. I'm all about forced appreciation. But adding a rental to that particular area would be a huge benefit for the community because it's such a huge lack of rental inventory. You just can't find anything. You can't. I mean, sometimes you can find some basements. Sometimes you can find some under poor maintenance, some units, but new quality rentals, apartment buildings, you can't find anything there.
You're changing from, as you said, commercial to residential. You're adding some units to an existing building, and then land severance. And now you're going to do some more construction to really bring out the full value of the land, right?
Yeah. This is how I would see. So first we would do the main building, and then the second phase would be an additional utilization of that additional lot that we could sever, because it's logical not to do everything at once, but rather get the main building, get it refinanced, get proceeds from refinance, and then use some of it again to construct another one, and then refinance again. And then after that, that's a full value.
You can almost self-fund the new construction to a larger degree because you've got the profits coming from the other building. Yeah. So is the long-term plan to keep everything in a rental portfolio or to sell it after? What do you think there?
Yes, I'd like to keep multifamily building for sure in the portfolio. It's going to be a great cash flowing, income producing property.
You were out here earlier in the summer or in the spring, I guess, and we did a tour here. You'd mentioned that you've got you're starting to do some work with land as well. So what kind of things are you doing there?
I got some projects which kind of also, as I mentioned, different phases. One of them is pretty extensive, big lot. The house is in the middle kind of thing, and we already severed one lot from it and sold it. We still have a big chunk of land on the other side of it. And now it's more challenging though, because it has a septic system which needs to be relocated, and it has a big barn that needs to be removed, demolished. And also we have to do something with the garage, but all of this still will bring an extra value. So this is another thing, and utilizing all the knowledge from the course, as well as also my past knowledge and experience of doing similar stuff. I felt confident already starting that again, and we got approved. Went pretty smoothly. We got approved for that severance. We need to do the work.
So I always say development is just out with the old, in with the new. So we got to get rid of a barn. We got to move a septic field. And
yeah.
Out with the old, in with the new. I guess going back to the course, what type of things did you learn from the course? How was the course a benefit?
It's the course definitely broadened my exposure to available tools. The main thing is every piece of information, every micro strategy, it's like another tool. And now the next time you approach some property, now you'll know, okay, there are more things I can do potentially with it, and there are different strategies of how you can finance it. And so all these things definitely improves visibility or variety or possibility. You can do, that you can do more, you can definitely extract more value sometimes, and also make it easier in terms of financing, tying up a property for a longer period, not doing the work, making, for example, making agreements with the seller so that they hold on to it longer while you're doing all the permits or due diligence. This is very valuable. Again, I'm looking at many opportunities that I'm seeing just differently now, because from these lenses now.
It's like I always say, like when you buy a new car, you start to see that car everywhere, because just psychologically we want to tell ourselves that we made a good decision. As you start to get into development, you're going to start to see all these kind of opportunities come your way. And now, like you said, you've got a different, where you wouldn't think you could do that before. Now you've got these tools that, okay, now that's a good strategy to use on this one. I'll use that strategy on that one.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
What about the community of fellow students? Now, how are you interacting with them at all? Or?
When we met, I made some connections, and I loved some connections that I made, because in those, when I invest in certain areas and have certain ideas, that's definitely helpful to know more people and broaden your network that way. Because some of them, they know some trades, or some of them may give you some extra hand sometimes with the advice. That's really valuable. A lot of value in that. And
there's students in the community. There are different levels, right? So like the last Students Taking Action video I did was with a gentleman that's building a 70-unit apartment building. So now that's
crazy.
you say that's on your radar. Well, now you've got a guy that you can DM and potentially have a Zoom call with and talk to as well. So, and then others that are coming along.
I think you mentioned, was it Port Alberni?
Port Alberni, on the island.
Bernie, I forgot exactly. And that's really cool, because I do remember when we visited Vancouver Island, we were passing by that area, and I do remember I stopped by microbrewery, for example. There, it was just such a nice little town.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, how come I never heard of this from the investment perspective? Because it's probably going to be would have been a good one. So now here's an example.
Yeah. So that's the power of the community. Now you've got someone to reach out to when you're ready to make that next leap. So
no, totally.
Very good. Well, there you go, Vlad. I really appreciate this, and thanks for taking the time to do this. I've been watching what you're doing, and you're tuning into the Zoom calls and stuff for the Q&A. So no, you've been an excellent member of the community, and I really appreciate having you along.
Yeah, thank you, Darcy. Yeah, it's been a pleasure, and yeah, I love the community and love what you're doing. It's very, very helpful, to have people like you behind a network like you create. It's invaluable. I mean, now all these resources, the whole course that I'm thinking, okay, now I'm in the financing phase. I'm just opening up and just going through. It's a refresher. That's like, reference book. It's very good. Love
Excellent.
it.
I appreciate that. Well, thank you very much for your time today, Vlad. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you, Darcy. All right. Have a good one.
So people come into the course from various backgrounds. Maybe you're relatively new to real estate investing. Maybe you've done a couple of flips and rentals, and you want to get into development to see how exciting it is and try something different. Others have more experience, like Vlad. They've done some renovations, and they've done even maybe a couple of construction projects before, and they're looking to scale. They're looking to put more tools in the toolbox, and they're looking at ways to add value to land. So no matter how you come in, if you're serious about real estate development, this course is definitely where you need to be, as proven by the students that in the Students Taking Action video series. So watch this webinar where I talk about why development's so great and more about the course. The links to register in the comment section below. I urge you to reach out, watch that, and then let's talk about your future in real estate development. Thank you.